Hey folks, hey folks, I'm Pocan Joe, and as always, you're pretty cool for coming by. Thank you, comic fam, everybody showing up. So, in this episode of Pocan Joe, we're going to do a Wednesday haul, some back issues that I got. We're going to talk about a few auctions that are coming up, and I'm going to talk about my 100 subscriber contest. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I'm at 94 people, so it looks like that might happen. And as always, you people are the reasons for that. I'm going to have a very unusual contest. So we'll talk about that at the end. Probably why not most of you are here anyway. You want to see what kind of books that I picked up. Half of these books I've read, so we'll just do a quick synopsis on those. But if you want a full review of a lot of these books, that will happen at Blaster Stash It Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where myself, Midwest guy, Huey, and Spectacular Spider, Grandpa, and Drew Manchu, we're all going to sit down and pontificate upon the books that we've read this week and what kind of stood out in us, and is it worth keeping, or is it worth setting on fire as a dumpster fire should be burned? We talk about that. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. I promise you, it's always more fun when we don't. Okay, so to get on with the haul, these books I have actually read this week. Uncanny X-Men number 13. Man, we got some of that good 90s classic X-Men that we've grown to love, and the stories and the adventures and how all that's happening in this, and it continues on in here, and it even pokes a little fun at its own self. So that was pretty cool. Meet the Skrulls number 1. This is fun. I'm not going to say it was good, but it was fun. It kind of plays on that whole early 70s to mid 80s communists, infiltrators ingraining themselves into our society. Kind of plays off of that whole thing. If you've ever watched The Americans, that's kind of what they're doing in here, because that's kind of the point of the Skrulls. Not a whole lot happened in this issue, just to kind of make us aware of their plans and how they're infiltrating, I should say. All right. Obey Me number 0. This is by Dynamite Comics. This hasn't gotten a whole lot of shout outs out there, but I'm going to be honest, this was kind of a fun read. We got a funny dog. We got a heroine female who can chop off heads and do all kinds of karate moves. A lot of action in here. I thought the art was something very clean and very stuck out to me. It's that kind of graphic cartoony type art. So I thought that was pretty good. Funny things in here. The dog that talks is absolutely hilarious. And every time it talks, people are like, what? A talking dog? So I thought that was kind of funny how he took advantage of those situations. So definitely something to read. Let's see here. Next, we got Astro Hustle. Man, if you are a fan of the rogue scallion type character / pirate, that's pretty much what you're getting here. This is not an overly new story, although I did like the take on this particular issue right here, on how it plays with the future and space piracy, and I just like the number. And of course, I had to go with this 1980s dotted type artwork. It just kind of remind me of something you would see on the side of a video game in an arcade. Flipper McCoy's. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Is Flipper McCoy's still around? Comment down below if there's a Flipper McCoy's near you. I haven't seen one in forever, and I'd like to visit one. But back to the comic book. Hey, this was great stuff. It's just a fun read, and if you're one of those YouTubers out there that's got to read tons and tons and tons of comic books, this was just a nice break. And if you're in your 40s, the storyline may sound somewhat familiar from classic Time Bandits on. Let's see here. Young Justice, number 3. Man, this was a hard read. This is a slow burn for a comic book. I'm not really sure what the storyline that they're trying to make me follow here, and it just seems kind of lost. So I'll give this issue the benefit of the doubt only because I like the last 2 issues. But this one, not really a whole lot happened in it. We just got a bunch of verbiage and dialogue. And is this that? Is that this? And why is this? And we didn't get any answers. We know that most of the team is in a hole. We know Impulse is out running as fast as he can. And we know Superboy, for some reason, is a farmer for crystals in Amethyst's world. Yeah, that's pretty much the summary of that story. Spoiler. Okay. Next, Conan the Barbarian. This did not sync up with the storyline that we've been following with this Crimson Witch person. This is how he became King Conan and what he did and how he got bored and how he ultimately kind of sort of became a superhero in his own kingdom. A masked vigilante going around stopping crime, and ta-da, it's the king with his lion friend doing their thing because he feels caged and he believes he has a sickness that he refers to as civilization sickness. Okay, I'll buy that. That actually kind of makes sense. So it was a good story. It kind of related. What does it feel like to be trapped in mental dualism? And that's not what you can do with a barbarian. So he's got to do what he can to go out there and satisfy himself because he's getting physically sick from it. So that was kind of interesting. It was an interesting take on that. I don't know too many comic books that would be willing to tackle that kind of issue, but I found it very entertaining and I highly recommend it. Next, this is great. Cosmic Ghost Rider destroys Marvel history. This is Frank Castle acting like an uncle, telling stories about how he basically helped in some of the more premier issues with the Fantastic Four and other situations, how he was a key part in it. Now the question is are we at a different timeline because he technically traveled back to the past and time got all jacked up, and they kind of sort of explain it, but they don't really harp on it in here, which was probably a good thing because it would have taken away from the funniness of this story. So yeah, I like what they're doing here, and we actually see a character that has been developed. Like it is truly developed. At one point, we see Frank Castle shed a tear because he's telling these stories to his kids, knowing that they're all gonna die tomorrow. So is he gonna change that history? Is something gonna happen? I don't know, but man, even with all the jokes and funniness in it, it's just a sad story of a dad wanting to talk to his kids that are gonna die the next day. Oh, such powerful reading. And how he gets through it, man, I don't know. Kudos to him. That was awesome. It was just a great story. Next, we got Black Order. This completes this mini-series. Surprise, the Ebony Maw, which I always thought his name was Ebony Maw, but they refer to him as the Ebony Maw. So I'm assuming it's more like a title. I'm going to have to look that up before Blaster or Stash it on Sunday night to find out exactly what that word means. Ebony obviously means black, but what does Maw mean? Sounds like it has something to do with mouth. So black mouth, black language, black speaker. I don't know. I'll have the answer. Come by Sunday night. I will have that answer for you. But Ebony Maw is a trickster who crosses his friends to cross the Emperor to ultimately help his friend. So we'll call him a double agent. Good stuff. Way to end a tight story and just make everything bundled up and nice. And we got it from the perspective of the Black Order themselves. So I really, really enjoyed this. When they first appeared in the comic book scene, we kind of got a little bit of a story from them. That was vague. And then the movie came out, and they didn't really say much about them all other than the fact that they exist, and we were led to make our own quandaries about these people or solutions about these people in their own agency. But what did we get from this? We actually have a clear understanding of who these characters are, their motives, and the way they think. And I'll be honest, it was quite interesting. So yeah, hopefully some more good stuff will come out of that in the near future. Batman number 66. Yeah, they're doubling down on this dreamland magical thing, and they dragged the Question into it to kind of interview Catwoman, and we get basically a recap of motives from Batman 50 in it, which I don't know about you, but I found that to be a very letdown. It almost seemed more like a hoax than it did a launch of a comic book. And then we get this, and I'll be honest, I'm not going to be picking this up much more here soon. I'm getting kind of over this. I like the Question, but we didn't get any good Question in this. We just got him talking. And the Question's always been a great character to do other things with. So, bleh. All right. So, The Amazing Spider-Man. This is to continue the hunt. This is number 16. This was okay. I say it's okay because in the last issue, we get a message from Black Cat to come to Spider-Man to help her. And what we get in this is we get the why. Why does Black Cat need Amazing Spider-Man's help, and that was pretty cool, don't get me wrong. And we kind of get some more details about this big hunt that's about to happen and the Taskmaster's and Black Ant's role in it. Okay, all right, I'll buy it. You got to do a filler issue every now and then in a long series. That's what we got here. Pretty cool. What I found most interesting about this was Black Cat dealing with the mental gymnastics that it took to be forgotten, or not forgotten, but being made to forget who Spider-Man was and Peter Parker was, and her obvious affections towards him, and how that's kind of playing with her a little bit. Although I have to call shenanigans, because a few issues back, she didn't have any problems working with Amazing Spider-Man and getting superhero stuffs that was stolen through the Invisible Hand Thieves Guild, whatever they were called. So, I don't know. But in this, it gave us a real introspect to her feelings and how it made her feel. And I thought it was pretty cool. It definitely dealt, I thought, realistically with when somebody has affections for somebody and they get turned off more in that kind of, or turned down, more in that aspect than I did a sudden memory of it all. So I think it could be relatable to people. Something I really enjoyed. Oh my Lord. If the rest of my comic books don't mount up to this, this is going to be my pick of the week on Blaster's Fashion. And that was Vader, Dark Visions. First off, Darth Vader as a knight? Why have we not done this before? Oh my God. And this is a great encapsulating story of Vader. And we all know he's a bad guy, but if he does something in contrast to people that don't know him, how it can actually come off as him doing something heroic or good when he's really just trying to save his life. I found this a very interesting read, on the aspect that there's a group of people now that kind of, or almost a planet of people that kind of see him as a good guy. Plus, there's like this shark monster thing that's apparently just destroyed an entire civilization. And Darth Vader kind of destroyed it, and it wasn't like an easy thing for him to do. He had to like really fight this thing. And the way the story gets translated at the end about this heroic Black Knight with his flaming sword, the way it tells, it kind of gives you an introspective how story is developed, and I thought that was very interesting. Go pick this up. Oh my God, more people need to be reading this. This was good. And I'll be honest with you, this is the first Star Wars comic book I have ever bought. Don't believe me? Look at my videos from the past. I've never been a Star Wars reader. I've always liked the movies. But man, was this good. And I plan on picking up issue number 2 in that. Hopefully they kind of follow dealing with the story in the manner that they did here. I can't say enough good things about it. But let me move on. I digress. I shall move on. Let's see here. Things I have not read this week, but I'm excited to. Justice League number 19th. We're going to get some Sixth Dimension some goodness here. And from what I understand, one of my favorite villains is going to be in this Pixie Mixel. I always mess up his name. Somebody actually tried putting it in the comics one time. They legitimately spelled it out, and I'm like, that doesn't tell me how to pronounce it. But hey, whatever. The little nymph that loves to come and cause trouble, he's in this issue right here. That's really good. Hopefully they use him a lot better than they did in Wonder Twins, which I was very disappointed in. Excuse me one second. And no, it's not morning time. It's noon. Just drink coffee all day long. Green Lantern number 5. This has been an okay read, and the only reason why I picked it up this week, it wasn't even because of the cover. It just left some loopholes in the last issue. We're dealing with cosmic disasters of a new kind, and we got a lot of open-ended stories going on. So I'm hoping by issue number 5, at least one of them will be closed up, because we got a lot of stuff going on. It's getting kind of hard to track 4 different storylines in a 5-issue run so far. So, I don't know. Hopefully something ends. If it doesn't, the truth is at that point, I'm pretty much just going to get bored and walk away from it. $6 Million Man. Man, I remember watching reruns of this when I was a kid. And whenever he would run, it would go, no, 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 no. So really, I bought this straightly out of nostalgia. So yeah, I kind of want to know if they update the character, if it takes place in his time frame. It looks very updated as I'm flipping through it right now. And it has that very simplistic, clean artwork in it. So why not? Plus, I got a deal on this one. You only charged me half price for it. Deadpool number 10. I picked this up on somebody else's recommendation. They're saying that something pretty cool is going to be happening in this one. Maybe a first appearance, maybe an explanation. I don't know. They wouldn't get into it. So I look forward to that. And Deadpool's always just a good read every now and then, just to kind of break up the monotony, because, you know, it makes fun of its own medium, and he's his own agent in this, so why not? Hot Shots number 1. Man, I'm going to get me some of that good Domino goodness rocking up in here. Hopefully this series is a little bit more compact than the last one was. It just seemed like the last one had a lot of loose ends to it, and it was kind of all over the place. So we're going to get a female team that's going to kick some butt, and they're going to tell us a good story, or else I'll just drop it. All right, Avengers number 16. As we know, Blade is part of the team now, right? And we got all kinds of existential threats out there in the forms of vampires, both from another anti-hero team to Dracula being in prison to vampires running amok. Can Blade and his team kind of bring it all together and make it simplistic? I doubt it. I think good stuff in this. I see Colonel Shadow and his team coming in here and causing some troubles. And what will happen with Ghost Rider? I don't know. Let's find out in this issue. Good stuff. Been very much enjoying Avengers No Road Home. They left us on a huge cliffhanger where Hercules, yeah, that's his name, Hercules had some sort of magical daggers put in his back, and now he's going to turn on his team. And then we also got Hawkeye, Rocket, and Hulk in Nightmare Land, who look like they're about to make some coin or get something done for them. Very not superhero-y, but whatever. Some other ones that I picked up that I just got in the mail today. Good Morning America. So I picked this up because, one, it's a number 1 issue. I like the cover. It kind of reminds me of an 80s horror movie from back in the day, or a couple of them. But from what I understand, I have been warned that this book is not in my flavor zone. But we'll see. I'm going to read it anyway. I'll read pretty much anything, and I'll make sure to do a review on that one, definitely on Plaster Stash It. Next, Red Sonja, number 2. Man, they left us on a great cliffhanger with a great note to an emperor saying that this land is shit. And we'll leave it at that. But, man, I'm really looking forward to some goodness in this. What will Red Sonja do when the bad guys come hunting for you? Blossom 666. I gotta be honest, for an Archie comic, this thing is dark. Like, it's darker than Jughead the Hunger and all those other ones. This stuff is just straight up trying to send people to hell. It read very well. It used a lot of the teenage tropes and kind of that mysterious horror adventure of occult worshiping. I don't want to say Satanism because it seems to be a word that's overplayed, but very heavy in the occult in this one. So I'm kind of interested in how they're gonna where is this gonna go? Let's go down this rabbit hole and see where it takes us. Probably hell. Next, I got this was a great read. I haven't read this one yet, but this is Die number 4. Man, Die is good. If you're not reading Die, go get yourself some Die. Die is good. Die in the form of rolling dice, not in like die. But this has been great. It's kind of a more adult Jumanji type story where it deals with like a demon or Dungeons and Dragons style game, and some people are trapped in the game. And we got a good look at what J.R. Tolkien's books would have looked like if they were in this realm with like a Hobbit type character, and they're in war and trenches and a dragon's there, and it kind of left it off of what defines a hero. I really like those kind of stories, so we're going to be diving deep into this one, and man, I can't wait to talk about this one Sunday night. That's going to be awesome. Next, we got Immortal Hulk number 14. I actually read this one. I don't know why it got put out of pile, but man, this is good, and we might have some Red She-Hulk coming. Oh my god, I can't wait for that to happen. Betty Ross got shot in the head, and her eyes popped open and started glowing. Oh, it's about to get on. This is the beginning of a new story arc, so it's a great time to jump on if you haven't done it. This weekend, go out and get this and jump on the Immortal Hulk bandwagon. I'm telling you, it is a bumpy, fun ride. Everybody seems to be enjoying it. Hopefully it doesn't get weird, but I can't see it happening, honest to God. Next, we got Ziggy, Pig, and Silly Seal Comics. If you don't know, there is a secret variant for this one out there floating around. Just a heads up. Basically, I think they're on a raft or something, and they're looking at a map. And on the map, you'll see the little emoji for poop with eyes. All right, that's how you know you got the secret variant. I didn't do that. I went with one of their standard variants on this one because it just kind of reminded me of classic cartooning. I have nothing on this book. I have no summaries or anything, so I plan on reading this probably today. And, of course, we'll get that review to you if it's worth reviewing. Let's see here, some other good stuff that I got. Let's make some room here. Oh, I picked up Magical Beatdown. I picked that up today, and luckily they had the next issue out as well, so I went ahead and picked both of those up. Everybody kind of talked about that this is kind of like a Sailor Moon type magic, blood gore fest. We'll find out. You know, I'll read them, and I was unable to get the issue when it first came out, but luckily the comic book store had a few extra ones today, so I was able to get those. Back issues that I picked up. Just for the heck of it, I saw it and it was the right price. I went ahead and picked up Venom number 4. First off, that's just a great cover. If you don't, I call this an homage cover because this goes back to Hamlet with Horatio. I knew him well. Type of action going on here. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. I picked up some giant size goodness today. 25 centers. Giant size Superman. This is number 3. Man, I got this because it has the different types of Superman that have been out there. And, of course, the famous one that looks like from Mad Magazine and some of the other ones on here. I just thought it was a cool cover. And to be honest, these comic books are not going to be around much longer. They're getting a little rougher, and people aren't taking care of them. So I went ahead and grabbed that one. Another giant-sized Superman that I picked up was number 7. This has some of my favorite stories. This has the reprint of the origin story of how Superman and Batman team up. That's really why I got this one, although the one with his strange powers is also a good story, too. Apparently, when Superman first came out, he literally had every power out there, and just at any given time, they would just give him a power. So this kind of breaks down a lot of that. All right, so for the high-value stuff that we got this week, I picked up two key issues. Fantastic Four, number 44. Yes, there it is. No, I did not pay $25 for it. That's what somebody thought they were going to give for it. I was able to get a much better price on this. And I'll be honest with you, the staples are intact. It's been read. That's very obvious. But this is the first appearance of Gorgon. And next, X-Men number 37. Got a sweet deal on this. Again, did not pay $25. Literally got this for $10. Yeah. 37 X-Men. That's a 12-cent cover. And first off, I'm kind of doing a run of these. Some of my doubles I will be auctioning off later. So, yeah. That's my hauls. Y'all want some news? Let's talk some news. Where are we at on time? All right, this is going to be a little bit longer of my normal shows. Longer than my normal shows. Great stuff happening here, guys. First off, me and Spectacular Spider Grandpa's online auction just launched today. We got about 70 lots worth of stuff in there. A lot of bundles of comic books put together. A lot of single issues on there, too. Please go check that out. A lot of good stuff in there, and we want to be sure to get you the comic book that you want at the price that you want to spend. That's most key about this auction. Number 2, an auction's going on tonight over at Comic Core tonight. I believe that starts, I want to say 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but definitely double check that. And that's over at the Comic Core. A lot of great stuff happening. A lot of guys are just making a few extra bucks for C2E2. So definitely go over. If you can support it, definitely. I know Drew Manchu's always got good stuff going on in these auctions. So definitely go over and check that out. I'm not sure of all the other people that are going to be there. I'm sure there's going to be a lot because this looks like it's going to be a long one, guys. So definitely strap yourself in. I will try to make it myself if I can. I have a meeting tonight I got to be at my American Legion, so I don't know if I'm sober. All right, so last but not least, let's talk contest, and I need to water my mouth. All right. So as you can tell down below, I'm down to right around 94, depending on when you're watching this. 94 subscribers. Man, thank you. I'll be honest. I didn't think anybody would ever watch this show. So, as a thank you, I would like to host a contest. And the contest is very simple. I'll probably do a video just on the contest and its rules by itself in case you didn't make it this far. But here are the rules to the contest. As a lot of you know, I'm very steeped in some psychology, but more philosophy. And I always make the argument that comic books express these two concepts in its various ways, in many different ways throughout comic books. So my contest is this. The moment we hit 100, please shoot me a video or somehow get it to me. You can use my email, my Instagram account. You can launch it on your own page. You can put the link down in the description. Whatever the case is. And I want to know a comic book that you've read, and what is it telling you? Is it telling you a story that's based in some sort of philosophy or psychology? And I want you to explain that story to me. This does not have to be a long video, and it doesn't have to be complicated or overthought. So I'll give you a couple of tips real quick. If you look up basic philosophy terms, and as you read the definitions of the terms, I promise you a comic book will stick out in your head. Also, on the psychology part of it, if you look up the term fallacies and the various different fallacies, also comic books will pop into your head. So definitely show me the comic book, give a synopsis of the story, and what is the psychological or philosophical message that this comic book is trying to present. Please, I think this would be really good, and I hope a lot of people, because I truly believe you can get smarter through comic books. And that's my show today. So let me know what you think. Hit subscribe if you're not a member. Definitely hit the bell because I never put out a show on a consistent basis. Once a week is about what I do. But hey, that should be fun. Also, hit the like button and all that other stuff. You know what to do. You guys are probably better at this than I am. So by all means, join the contest. Check out the auctions. Hope you liked the video. Guys, I have nothing else to say. I'll try to produce another video with the rules being a little bit more clear as my 100 subscriber contest. So definitely, and how we'll actually pick who actually wins. I may pick more than one winner, actually. I have tons of stuff to give away because I've been saving it for a while. So yeah. All right. So legitimately, I have nothing else to say. Hey guys, if nobody's complimented you today, you're doing great. You look great. Everything's cool. Everyone's awesome. Bye.